So, so
Okay, so
Mark,
yeah, give me yeah. Instead
here's
of
the
me reaming you a new one, ladies and gentlemen,
here's
this is
the
called
issue
a
with
cold start
the last
of Mark
interview.
Isaac Potter Presents.
Here here's
And
the
this
issue
is
with the
Lex trying to cover his ass. Here, go ahead.
la-
Go ahead,
no,
Lex.
the issue with the last video was that I selected the shorter format, and then you being a professional host would basically indicate I'd have to shift to a next question during that answer because I asked for like the quickest interview possible. And and so I said, "Hey, Mark, we should meet again." Where I didn't say, "Hey, let's do a whole interview in 10 minutes." That's basically what happened.
Well, that's his version, folks. Where this is going on the recording, dog.
It's
I'm
all
telling
good.
you, because you are people find you delightful, man.
I
And I
appreciate
get
it.
all these calls from ladies and guys offering me like 25, $30 to have a date with you. And I say, I don't, you can't just call him
25
up
bucks.
and
That's
tell him to have a date.
super cheap. Gosh, come on, guys. What's going on here?
Oh, he does
Dude,
have a little self esteem after
I
all.
could probably get
Okay.
at least 35 out of my wife. I mean, come on.
Well, she's known you longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is Mark Isaac Potter Presents. We're visiting today with Lex Ferguson, with whom I have a semi long history, and who is absolutely a lovely human being, seriously. And he's a realtor in Hawaii. And we are going to talk about realty, but I think at this point we're also going to just have fun too, as we did there in the cold start. So, Lex, you want to talk about realty first, or what would you like to talk about first?
No, we can talk about anything. We can talk about whatever questions come
Tell
across
us,
your mind.
tell us a little bit about you as a human being
All
and
right,
where you
cool.
grew up. And
Yep.
let's do that part first. We're going to
Yep.
do a long show. Is that okay?
Yeah. I mean, we'll go. Yeah. I've got to be in Kakako to launch, but that's in an hour and 55 minutes, so we're
Yeah,
chilling.
we won't. No, we won't go that long. But I mean,
Yeah. No,
I'll
so
set
all
it
right.
for 24 minutes, and then we'll maybe go over a little bit.
Yeah, it's yeah, just give me the nod. All right, so check it out. So, I moved to Hawaii when I was a teenager from the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So I'm originally from the East Coast, grew up
Right,
small town East Coast.
right.
I was a surfer, and so I always,
On the East Coast, you were
on
a
the East
surfer on the
Coast,
East Coast.
yeah, in the Outer Banks, which actually has really good waves.
Now,
And
where
then
is Outer Banks for those of us who are not from the East Coast?
North Carolina, it's these islands, these
Okay,
barrier sand islands off the coast of North Carolina.
okay,
Um,
all right.
when I graduated high school, I basically the only college I applied to was Hawaii. Um,
Mm.
it was simple as that. So as soon as I graduated from Manio High School, I moved straight to Hawaii. So
Now, what got you to do that? Why did you have that in your side of you? Had
well,
you heard about it? Had your grandparents gone to Hawaii? Or
dude, I got really cool parents. They, they knew I had a passion to travel and surf, and I think my mom, she kind of had this built-in plan where, hey, if he moves to Hawaii, then I'll have an excuse to go to Hawaii every year. So
that's very believable, folks.
I'm on to her for
Very
sure.
believable.
Uh, so
Yes.
so I moved out here, and like I said, when I was 17, and
Okay.
I've been here for majority of my life now. Now I'm in,
Okay.
I've been here for over 20 years now, 20 years, 21 years. And so
Okay.
this is my home. This is where I've been my entire adult life. I went to college here, and when I graduated college, I had this really cool sales job where I worked for the sandalwood distribution, Royal Hawaiian Sandalwood. It was a reforestation project where we were bringing back like a native indigenous tree species to Hawaii that actually
Okay.
is used to be how the Royal Hawaiian monarchy had most of their wealth was via sandalwood trade. And a lot of people don't know that. It's known as Iliahi
Sandalwood. What is
Hawaiian.
sandalwood? That's a kind of wood,
It's a type of wood. It's an aromatic type of wood. It's got therapeutic benefits. If you Google sandalwood, it's huge over in China and India and whatnot.
where do the trees grow in China?
They grow sandalwood, but the Chinese are the biggest consumers of it. The
Are you
largest
saying sandalwood?
sandalwood, 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 sandalwood.
Sandalwood. Okay, that
Super.
I may have heard of.
Yeah, Google sandalwood. Like if you ever do like essential oils and stuff, like or even candles, they have sandalwood scented candles. The
Okay.
largest place on earth for sandalwood production would be India, and now Australia. West Australia has farms all throughout. There's a company out there, Westcourt, but India is the most famous. But anyway, Hawaii actually, if you want to go get scientific with it, if, the way you rate sandalwood is off the santalol content, and Hawaiian, Royal Hawaiian sandalwood or Santalum not Iliahi, Mickey, whatever the hell it's
Way
called.
too
It's
smart for my for
No,
me
it's
or my
called
audience.
Santalum paniculatum. That's what it is. It's Santalum
Don't
paniculatum.
go Latin on us.
I
We'll
know.
have
Well,
to
hey, it's
get
all I
down.
did for a while. And so anyway, Hawaii, if you want to get scientific on it, the sandalwood has the highest santalol content of any sandalwood on the planet. But yeah, no,
Oh
I
my
could get
God.
scientific. I was known as the dude who only talked about sandalwood when I lived in Kona. So
Wow.
we shift from that, and then one thing led to another,
Wow.
and I got into real estate. Been in real estate for 10 years now, and that's where I'm at.
And you did you tell me about your first real estate purchase? Because I had someone you reminded me of a story, and I don't know if it was your story or someone else's. So I'm trying to not say what it was. Tell us about your first real estate transaction.
Well, it was interesting. My first real estate transaction, I never even sold a house. I actually sold a strip mall. My
That was it. Was you
Yeah.
okay?
And so
Tell us about that.
I was helping a lady. She was looking for rental properties, and she was a member of, apparently there's a church, the Iglesia Ni Cristo, that'll loan money to its congregation for real estate deals. It blew my mind,
Huh,
but she ended up getting
wow.
a loan from her church, and she was
Okay.
basically told me, "Hey, I'm open to commercial too," and I'd never done a deal, so I had nothing but time on my side, and I went around
Right.
and basically pulled apart every commercial deal there was. I got the leases. I put together like kind of like a prospectus on each. Like I laid out the numbers. I laid out what the cap rate was, and I kind of figured all this out as I went. And yeah, I ended up selling a strip mall as my first ever sale.
That's
And
great. Congratulations. Seriously,
and
congratulations.
it
That's
was
beautiful.
that was a really big confidence booster for sure, because it was like, okay, that was good.
If I can do that, I can certainly sell a residence. Yeah.
Well, I haven't sold any malls or anything commercial since then. It's just a
Well,
funny story.
probably.
I've only sold one commercial building, and it was my first ever deal.
Well, stranger things have happened.
uh,
So, how does your business now? Are you you within with a group of realtors? Are you one realtor operating on your own?
so, all right, so I'm a solo agent, but I do have kind of a little collaborative group I work with. Um, Elke Burkhart, Pedro Rubio. Um, those would be the main two that I work with. But they're with me at Real Broker. Now I'm working a lot with Sean Janella up on the North Shore. But yeah, I mean, really, I don't. We're kind of like a team, but not a team. That means, so everyone gets credit,
Yeah,
but everybody
a
else don't.
loose affiliation. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a loose affiliation. We always got each other's back. If say I'm listing something, I always have people that can help if I'm going off island, or if I have buyers and I can't be there to help. We have
right,
people. We act like a team, but we don't have the legal ramifications that come along with it.
right.
And there's not one person who takes the credit for everyone's deals.
Because okay, good. Now, I have so many things to say. I don't even know what to say. I do want to remind you, and I do this inside the show. I think it's. I have a certain theory of television that's too complicated to let me remind you to send me 3 lines of contact information, contact information like your name, your website, your phone number, your name, your website, your email, whatever you're going to do. And then also send me the title. Since you were on the show late last time, I've been letting the guest have some say in picking the title. But you're like on which island?
Well, it's easy. The title's Life on Oahu. My brand is lifeonaoahu.com.
Okay, so
I
we'll
guess my
say
brand
Life
would be
on Oahu Realty with Lex Ferguson or
it wouldn't
what?
be realty. It would just be Life on Oahu. You could call it real estate. Life on Oahu real estate. With Lex Ferguson. That'd be fine. And my
Okay,
Instagram
so just
handle.
type that out in an email and send it to me
Okay.
with the 3 lines. And then there was something else too, but I can't remember what it is now.
It's all
Oh,
good.
that still got to get you to pay. Remember?
This doesn't go on the show, right? Talking about me paying,
All
right?
this goes on.
I
All
thought
this
this was one of
goes.
those deals where you pay what you think you want to pay. I thought you told me I get to pick what I pay. So I
I
thought I
I
like this.
may have.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery what's gonna happen.
Oh dear God. Okay. All right. You heard it, folks. Yeah, it usually means zero when they do that. Although he did give me a cancellation fee last time.
That
If you
that
if
was
you
I wouldn't call it a cancellation fee. I would call it a don't be mad at me fee. That's what that was.
it would be hard to be mad at you, young man. So this so I really do want this to be in the show, and I think the show gets viewed better if we do it this way. But I am going to remind you that you're the client, and if you want to insist on us doing a second show that's more formal, I'll just play both shows because this kind of thing, seriously, where we're real, captures the viewer.
That's the goal. Real, like the company I'm with.
Yeah, and yes, and if I put this into, I forget which one does the best job. CapCut does a pretty good job, but there's several AIs now that will take a video and put it and make it, 10, 20 clips, and then we can
Beautiful.
play the clips. So this kind of this realistic moment here, a real moment, is something that could be a clip that would lead to the larger one. So you're day to day. You're on which island?
So I'm on Oahu. I'm based out of Honolulu, but I
And
service the entire island.
okay, now I let's pretend I'm really ignorant about Hawaii because guess what? I'm really ignorant about Hawaii. There's how many islands and which ones are
All
which?
right. Well, it would depend on how you wanted to count as an island. So let's talk from the main
Give me
island.
the
So we'll
main
start
three
we'll
or
start from
four
the
or
bottom.
five.
We'll work our way up. We'll go,
All right.
it goes Big Island or the island of Hawaii. Then above that is Maui. And then if you were to go just west of Maui, you would have Lanai, but then you also have like Molokini, Kaho'olawe, and then you go above Maui, you got Molokai. Then you're going to come over here to Oahu. Then you go across the channel and you're on Kauai, and there's Ni'ihau off of Kauai. So whatever that
That's way too many.
and and
Oh
so
God. So
but then there's like atolls and stuff. Like you could argue there's way more islands than that in Hawaii.
yeah, but I
I'd say
mean
in
no
terms of main islands, like Maine, where there's like significant population, I'd say there's
three,
five.
four.
I'd say main ones where you got Kauai, the main ones. So anyone watching this, I understand. I just
So
named or, or
Hawaii is the big island at the bottom,
correct, and that's actually the youngest island.
the youngest island. Okay, and then the next island up is who?
Maui.
Maui. All right, and then who's up next? That's significant.
Where you go Molokai, and then you go over to Oahu and Kauai. So I'd say like five mainly in
Molokai's Molokai's pretty private though, right?
it's
Isn't it?
very
Most
private.
people
Oh
think
yeah.
about
Like no,
Molokai.
it's very private, but there's significant population on it. I mean, there's it's not like huge population. Let's look at a population of Molokai.
But
Okay,
they're
so
mostly.
it's a
I had a
couple.
friend
It's
from Molokai, and it was mostly people who were like indigenous, right?
yeah, it's pretty local. It's pretty low. It's super local in Molokai. I mean, there's no question. Like there's over 7,000 people, about 7,500 people. So I mean, that's worthy. And Lanai has 3,000. So
And
yeah, I mean.
Lanai is actually an island. I thought Lanai was the city that burned to the ground.
No, that's Lahaina. That's Lahaina. Yeah, and that's
See,
like the
I'm so pathetic. You're
no,
like
no.
the
It's
fourth
all
person
good.
from Hawaii I talked.
No, that's Lahaina. That was the worst thing you could ever imagine to happen. It's terrible. It's so hard to even talk about. Um,
Yeah.
but with Lanai, that actually island, 97% of Lanai is owned by Larry Ellison, the billionaire that founded Oracle.
Say that again.
Larry Ellison, the
I
billionaire who founded Oracle, he owns
Yeah.
97% of Lanai.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And what's his name from Facebook owns 200 acres on one of the islands.
He owns more than that. He owns it on Kauai, Zuckerberg, Kauai amount of land. Let's look it up. He owns currently Zuckerberg has 1,400 acres. And actually, so like I have a property on Kauai, so every time I drive up, I drive right past Zuckerberg's. And I was driving up there last time, and I was talking to somebody, and I was like, you know what? You got a dude who's worth, hundreds of billions of dollars, 100 billion, 150 billion, whatever it is. And it's like, if this guy's buying up all this land, which it's because this is like the most epic land there is. It's Hawaii. Kauai is just insane. Like when you're driving up there, I mean, all the islands are insane, but um, I get it. I get why it's
Can't
a
there be a couldn't there be a law? I mean, why isn't there already a law
saying you
that
can't buy any more land.
some billionaire quote unquote blankety blank can't just come in and buy the whole damn
Well, but
thing?
what's the difference with 1,000 people buying 140 acre or 14-acre parcels each? It's think about it. It's capitalism. It's if the seller is getting a price
Yeah,
they want,
no, it is.
and they get to put the money in the bank. And so I get
I don't
it.
know.
Trust me,
Something about it rubs me the wrong way.
it rubs a lot of people the wrong way. 100%. I'm not saying it's right, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm sure that the people he's buying it off of, they're getting a pretty penny. And so it's not like
Yeah,
it's not like they're being forced to sign sales documents.
no, no. So your business day to day, how would you describe how it runs day to day?
Well, it just varies by the day,
You get up in the morning, you go into the office, or you work from home, or you what?
Yeah, so I usually hit a cold plunge, get a workout in, and then it just depends. Some days I'm jetting up to the North Shore super early. Some days I'm up just helping with the kids, and then I'm working in my home office. I'm in my home office right now. It's real estate. It's really a moving target every day. If I were to sit in my
Okay.
office every day, I wouldn't sell any homes. And
Yeah.
so, it's you're constantly on the move. Um, it's so that's a tricky question to answer because like I
Yeah.
try to be as routine oriented as I can. The main thing is making sure the family's good, making sure helping with the kids any way I can. I'm very fortunate that I've got a really badass wife who she crushes it if I'm super busy, and then um,
Right.
I try to make sure I get a workout in or something
Yeah. Yeah.
at least try
Yeah.
to avoid unhealthy eating if I can, and then which is hard. If you put Oreos
Yeah.
in the cabinet, it's really hard to not have one. And
Hey,
then
I'm
you know where that
I'm
goes.
I'm more than 100%, 100 pounds overweight, so don't even go there. But
Talk about
yeah.
Oreos,
Yeah.
and you're like thinking like, do I have some Oreos in the cabinet?
um. So that's your day to day. Tell us. I'm just trying to do the basic questions I
Yeah.
usually ask. Tell us about some time in your lifetime as an agent about something, some transaction that was just plain terrible. And then later we're going to do one that was just plain wonderful.
Well, truthfully, I've been pretty blessed with having really, really cool clients and having good transactions. I mean, I got fired by a lady maybe a year or two ago because of after they'd already closed because some stuff went wrong and like within the walls of a condo, like some piping leaks, and she blamed the inspector, and because it was my recommended inspector, she fired me while I was holding my 2-year-old at her door. That was weird.
Oh, God
And
help
then
me.
she kept asking me to hug my daughter after she fired me, which was weird. But uh
That is,
but
and
the, and the
so
truth,
she didn't get,
well, and I think it bothered her
did
too
you
because I
lose a
stood up.
commission over that?
No, but the thing is this, I didn't care about that. I don't, I want, all I want, the way I do my business is I just want everyone to be stoked. I want clients to be happy. I
Yeah.
will literally give away my commission to ensure a deal runs smooth. I do it all. I'm the king of giving concessions to make sure everyone's happy. And
I
uh,
wouldn't say that on the air, but you just
I,
did. So
it's been said.
life in
And,
the big city.
and
So
so
tell us about a very wonderful one, and maybe then later I'll ask you some other stuff like your most complicated one or something. I get some.
I also
This
had
is
an
one of the
interesting
most
one. I also
interesting.
had an
Go ahead.
interesting one recently. I've only had two people that I've ever stopped working with. One was over an inspector issue, but the inspector didn't do anything wrong. You literally can't predict what the pipes are going to do in condos because those are shared elements. So within the wall.
Okay.
So the inspector can't open walls to check pipes. That's not how it's done. All they do is they run the water, they leave it on for X amount of time, and they make sure all the drains run down, and then they check for leaks. They use a thermal detector, moisture detector, whatever. So
Right.
anyway, and then another one was pretty funny. It was this lady from San Jose, and she wanted to buy in the Trump, which is now the Ka'ali or something. They changed the name, but Kala'i or something. And she kept looking in the trunk for over a month or two, and then she was asking me like why there's so many units available, which there's a lot of reasons, but one of them I said, well, it's an extremely polarizing name. And
Yeah.
she's like, wait a minute. You are gonna let me look in a building that has a polarizing name to it? She's like, this is where I draw the line. I was so confused and hung up because I was
Gee.
thinking like how do you
Oh
not
no.
know Trump is not a polarizing name? Have you not cut on the TV? I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's good, but
No, no,
polarizing that
I
name
understand, but it is a polarizing.
it's the
We've got.
most polarizing name in
Yeah,
America.
yeah,
There's no question about it. And
yeah, yeah.
I'm not over here talking trash about the guy. I'm
No, no,
literally just calling a spade a spade. And that
no.
blew my
It's
mind. I was
it's
like,
obvious that you're being fair about it. It's just
um,
surprising how people think.
but so a good
Um,
deal. I mean, gosh, there's some oh my God.
well, most
I got the
simple
best
deal,
deal.
most
No,
complicated deal.
I got the
What do you
best deal.
think?
It happened
Biggest
recently.
deal? I don't know.
No, I got the best one. So there's a guy who had been searching on the North Shore for 7 years, searching for
Okay.
7 years. He's worked with
And
like,
what part is the North Shore?
it's the famous stretch for surfing. It's where Banzai Pipeline, Waimea Bay,
It's
Sunset
on
Beach
it's
is.
on the Big Island, Hawaii.
No, it's all on Oahu. Everything I'm saying is on Oahu because I'm on Oahu. And so
Okay.
it's the North Shore of Oahu. It's the most famous stretch of sand on planet Earth for surfing. There's no question about it.
Okay.
So anyway,
Didn't know
this
that.
guy had been
Okay.
searching for 7 years, couldn't find
Okay.
anything. He went through multiple agents, started working with me about a year ago. I went around knocking on doors, sending letters, calling owners. Like I was doing everything
They
on
don't
him.
want to sell. Yeah.
Well, and everyone that does want to sell, they want more than it's worth. And he was making overvalue offers, cash, no contingencies. And he was literally about to just throw in the towel. And then I ended up coming across the founder of a major surf company. This guy's a surfer and ended up basically cutting an off-market deal with one of the titans of the surf world. And like the coolness factor of it was just so unreal because in this house, it's like all these like pictures of him with like all the people I had on my walls growing up and stuff,
Right. Right.
surfers.
Right.
And anyway, he ended up doing a deal with, one of the founders of one of the biggest surf companies on earth. And now I represent that same guy, the founder, the owner, the seller of the property. I represent him. I'm selling another property for him. But it was just like the most epic deal you could ever imagine because this guy is so stoked. I still get texts from him like every other day that's just like tripping out that he can't believe that he owns that house. And he's just so grateful.
Wow. That's
And
neat.
so,
No,
and I've had a lot of
that's
really good deals, but that one was really recent, so it's fresh, right?
very cool. Very, very cool. Now, what would you say? I'm doing this stuff out of order because I don't know anything about
I don't.
order.
It's all good. I'm not worried
What
about it.
would you what would you say to someone sitting somewhere in the world watching this show who's maybe, 20 years old, 19 years old, 25 years old, who's thinking about going into real estate? What would you say to them? Like, how do they prepare, or what things should they be asking themselves, or would you
Well,
inspire
I think I
them, or
think
what?
I think it just depends on what market you're going into and where you are. Like if someone's coming to Hawaii, for example, I can speak on Hawaii's behalf, or I can speak on my knowledge of Hawaii behalf.
Right, right,
Um, make sure you know your market. Make sure you know the area, not just the real estate market. I see so many people come here that want to be realtors. They see these shows, Selling Sunset, yada yada, all this stuff, and which is complete kind of bullshit. How the way they glamorize it and they make it look so easy to do deals. And basically these people come here and they don't know where to go get a good poke bowl or where to get a good Mexican food in like a specific town. Like know your area because the main thing right now would, well, obviously there's a lot of local families that are purchasing and selling, but the big wave is an influx of people coming from the mainland that are purchasing and moving to Hawaii because there's a
Yeah.
lot of factors. People are able to work more remotely. I think there's environmental factors at play. I think there's just a lot of reasons, and I think people are becoming more aware of the fact that Hawaii, living in Hawaii, is more attainable, or doable than they ever thought it would be. So I see these agents that don't know the area that well. So first and foremost, make sure you know the area, not just the real estate market. Like you need to be a local expert. And that would be my first thing. The second thing would probably be prepared to work really, really hard. There's no easy button. I mean, I'm working, some weeks 60 plus hours. There's no question about it. And
Right.
that's pretty much it. I mean, even if you buy leads off Zillow or something, those are just going to be a person's number and a person's name that then they're probably like interested in a property. They don't know who you are. They might be talking to
Yeah.
other agents. So, be prepared to, you know, you're going to take some shots. You've got to have thick skin and don't get down on yourself. It's a long game, real estate for sure. Very few
Okay.
people, I mean,
Okay.
over like 90% of agents, 87% of agents wash out in their first 3 years. So,
Oh, I
you know,
would think it'd be a lot more than that.
yeah,
Jeez.
maybe it's 90 plus. I mean, the way I see it is I'm crossing paths with the same agents all the time. Now I'm on an island, but if you tell me someone's name, like if they're doing more than 4 deals a year, which is not much, I would know who they are because
You
this is
know,
an island. And so, I would just be prepared to work really hard and be open-minded. That's the best way I could put it. And just be very, very,
and maybe keep your other form of income for a while because it's going to be
be
that
very
first
trans
sale is going to take 12, 15 months, right? Or not?
Yeah, be very transparent, very honest, and never cut a corner to make a deal because
You get a
you
rep for that, for one.
100% integrity is everything, and word spreads amongst agents really quick. And um, I just think, just make the most important thing you should be is transparent and hold yourself to a high level of integrity.
Okay. Um, Let me ask you a couple things about what you just said. Number one, is there some service or some website or some research group in the United States at least that would help a person who is not familiar with an area become more knowledgeable, somewhat like a local, or teach you how to learn
I mean, you could
or
go read
what?
up whatever you want. What I would say, what I tell people that are newer agents that are new out here, I mean, obviously, I think the people that are going to do the best that are new are people that have a background in Hawaii that understand not just the geography and the towns, but also the culture.
Culture, yeah.
And then that's very important. That is like the most important thing, But I think the only thing you can do to really learn it is just go experience it. I tell people all the time, I'm like, go like new agents. I'm like, go out to the west side, go find some food spots, go to the beach, go explore, go to the North
Okay,
Shore, go figure stuff out. I mean, like I can tell you where's the good place to eat or do whatever in every little town of this island because I've been traversing it for, 20 years. And
right,
especially as someone who was constantly going to different little areas of the island to serve, you kind of learn
right.
all the little nooks and crannies. Now, if like in the central part, I don't really know a lot. I don't know Waipahu that well. I don't know certain
Mm,
areas that well, but
yeah.
if that comes up, I would know who to ask or I would know who to refer to really quick.
Would it help a person getting into real estate to have done real estate in an area that they were already in or that they grew up in
Yeah, I mean, it's of course going to help because you're going to understand
first
the
because you
process.
know it and then get used to being to knowing how to do the business in an area you know and then do it somewhere
Yeah.
else or
No,
not?
100%. Anything is going to help. And then if we were to ask the question, let's say to local Hawaiians, local people who are, from here, who've been here, let's say even if you've been here since you were 14, whatever, that you know the island, right? And say you're 20, then I think you have a major leg up on everyone. And at that point, I would say surround yourself with a good group of people who are going to help you to grow, people whose styles you don't conflict with, that you want to work with on the regular. And I think that's extremely important. When I first got started, I was on a team and I don't have a team now, but that's, I have a collaborative group, like I said, but that was really important for me because it immediately made you a lot of friends in the industry. You got to see how other people worked. You got to see how the team leader worked. So I'm a big supporter of new agents joining teams, no question. Like me personally, like if you're a brand new agent, like I'll sure I'll talk to you and stuff, and I'll give you guidance, but I'm not looking to mentor new agents. So there are people
Yeah,
that
yeah. No, and I
no, no,
don't
no, I know,
dispute
but what I'm
you.
what I'm getting at
Yeah,
is team leaders like look to that, and
yeah.
they that's kind of what they do. So I definitely recommend if you're a brand new agent joining a team, but a good team where it's going to be someone who's going to look out for you, want to go golfing with you.
Now,
You
would
can.
that be a team of existing agents, or would you
Yeah,
build
a
your
team of
own team
exit.
of
No, if you're brand
contractors?
new, no, if you're brand new, you should go join a team where they already have proven results and producers on that team, so you can see how people operate. That's
Now,
my opinion.
when you say team, without me saying a lot of names, you're saying some of the more recognized companies that deal in real estate. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, I can take
For
care of
example,
you're
Berkshire
on that.
Hathaway, Keller
Well,
Williams.
that's a brokerage. When I'm saying team, I'm saying like the Kawaguchi Group with eXp Realty. Tony, he's really good with new agents. You've got Team Lally. I don't know them that well, but you've got Pineapple Group. You've got teams like that. Like I'd say if
So
you're new,
what is the difference between the kind of team you're talking about and something like Berkshire Hathaway?
Berkshire Hathaway is the brokerage. So that's where you
And
hang your license.
okay, so
But
let's
these
back up
teams
the
are
truck.
under a brokerage.
A
So for example, like
brokerage is a national company that owns a lot of real estate offices, or what?
yeah, so basically, so like for example, Kawaguchi Group, they're with eXp Realty. Team Lally, they're with Keller Williams.
Okay,
Pineapple Home,
so
they're with eXp Realty.
okay,
So everyone
all
has
right.
to be with a brokerage to hang their license so they can legally practice real estate. Unless you go and start your own brokerage, which you can do if you have a broker's license, but
Yeah,
um,
but it's a harder
no,
game
so
to play.
teams are basically groups that are underneath an umbrella of a brokerage,
Okay,
and then they
okay.
operate together. And then the team leader will typically take a percentage off the top of your deals, but they are also offering things to go along with that, whether it be or
Okay. So
whatever.
yeah, and when I'm doing cold calls of realtors and stuff, I see someone's name and I see the word team next to it, then I know they're a small team within something. So, and real estate licenses go state by state or not.
Yeah, go state by state.
So if you live in Montana and you decide to move to Hawaii, you got to get a new license for that state
Correct. You'll have
and
to,
pass a test. And
yeah, you're gonna have to take the state test. You can do this thing called license by reciprocity, where you won't have to take the national test, but you'd have to take the state test for sure.
there is a national test.
Yeah. So when you test to do or become a realtor, there's two tests. There's state and there's national. You have to
Okay.
pass both.
All right. What am I leaving out of this interview that you would like would have rather had asked?
I mean,
Anything?
not really. I mean, I think we've talked about a bunch of stuff. I think Oahu, if we can talk about Oahu for a minute, I think it's one of the most incredible places on the planet to live. You know, I
Okay.
we have it's one of a kind because we have a metropolis here, which is Honolulu, on an island that also has extreme country vibes with just a 20 to 30-minute drive. You can drive 45 minutes from Honolulu. You're on the North Shore where you have some of the biggest waves on the planet and some of the most beautiful beaches. We're starting to see a lot of money coming in here from not just the mainland US, but from Asia. And we're seeing like modern buildings. We're getting some Michelin star chefs coming down the pipeline. I mean,
Yeah.
Oahu's got it going on, for sure. And I feel very fortunate to get to practice real estate here because I couldn't imagine a better market and a better place to get.
How much more? I mean, I always imagine that Hawaii is getting filled up with people because so many people want to live there. How filled up is Oahu at this point? I mean,
We have
is
about a
there room
million. We
for
have about a
another million
million.
people or
We have about 1 million people, and I actually saw this thing in the news that came out yesterday that they're planning to create 50,000 more housing units by 2045. So that's a lot of units. We don't have room for houses really, unless you were to build, let's say, in like around like north of Kunia, in between Kunia and
well, they
Schofield
can do
Park.
like condo apartment style
Going to be
condo?
building. Yeah, I think once you go along the stretch like Kaka'ako and around Honolulu and stuff, I think we're going to see a lot more
Right.
high rises coming up. And
Yeah.
it makes sense. I mean, I just hope we have the infrastructure to support it regarding like plumbing and all that good stuff and electricity and whatnot.
Is that gonna change the face of Oahu? It'll make it
Nah, because I think Oahu
less
is already looked
Oahu
at as
and
like,
more metropolitan.
well, it already is a
Cosmopolitan.
metropolis. Honolulu is like a legit metropolis. Like if I were to like say like for example, if I were to like play one of those video games where you build a city like Sim City, like my
Yeah, yeah,
dream, like sometimes I come in from surfing and I'm like looking at the city with the green mountains behind it and all these cool ass
right,
buildings and like I'm
right.
like, dude, if I was building a city in a video game, this is what I'd build.
Okay, all right, folks. So that's a wrap, and the information for contacting Lex will be on the screen. We love you all very much, and thank you for watching the show. Lex, thanks for being our guest. We
Nah,
love you
Mark,
dearly. Our door is always open. You can always do a show, especially if you offer to help pay for it.
yeah,
All
yeah, yeah.
right,
The
folks.
mystery
I
pair.
gotta razz him. I gotta razz him a little bit.
All right,
Besides,
Mark.
all right. Take care, folks. Thanks a lot.
Later, guys.
I'm going to
Bye.
push the end recording button here.